Get excited.
Yo, what is up, guys? It's me, Kyle, back here again with another Clair Obscur Expedition 33. In the last episode, as you may remember, we defeated Duo Listes all the way over there. You can't really see it, but we defeated Duo Listes. Wasn't the hardest fight, being that we kind of knew the pattern. I still got Lamp Master over him in difficulty wise and annoyance, but we defeated him last episode, remember. But now we might have someone who tops Lamp Master in difficulty. And if you don't know who it is, it's going to be the third bosses of the DLC, Clea Unleashed. Now, before we get into this fight, let me tell you the gimmicks of this. Let me actually tell you three things. One, I beat this fight. Yes. It's hard to say that this is not my first time fighting it, but yes, I beat this fight. If you don't already know, the gimmick of this fight basically is that she will attack, or she has a guard up, or she has basically a shield up where she will take no damage until you parry all of her attacks. With that being said, you know how this battle is gonna have to go. You have to parry everything to break her shield and be able to attack. Now, to add on to the massive amount of invulnerability that she has high defense. So unless you break her defenselessly, you're not doing defense either. So it comes down to parrying and survivability. This is basically going to be a long fight, but I'm not saying I took this idea from somewhere. I saw like similarities, but I wanted to test it out. So I'm going to, this before you say anything, this isn't cheese. This is more or less like just a little strat. So there is actually a way to do at least a little bit more damage than usual. I'm not saying one-shot territory now, but I'm saying like, hey, at least like doing this much damage will get the fight going quicker than as it would usually be. So with that being said, let me show you what I did. So if you don't already know, in Verso's draft, Mael learns a new weapon, Esquium, which on turn start consumes each AP above 4 to gain 50% more damage per AP consumed, and obviously with all that stuff. But that's not what we're focused really on. What we're focused on is his level 4 skill. Consume each AP above 4 to gain 50% more damage per AP consumed. So that means if you're at the rare case of 9 AP, you're going to be taking away 5. So that's going to be what, 250% more damage? Not bad whatsoever. So with that being said, that's one part of this build that we will be using, and that will be involving her skills being Last Chance and Burning Canvas. Now obviously Burning Canvas applies 1 burn per hit, damage increase for each burn on the target. Now something you should know is that it maxes out at 100 burns. Well, obviously you can go above 100 burns, but I'm pretty sure her damage cap for this skill maxes out at 100 burns. So basically you get 100 burns and she'll be doing a lot of damage. But to add on to that a lot of damage, we have her equipped with Feint, which start each turn with 4 bar pop stacks. Don't know why Verso calls that. And every fifth hit with a skill deals 600% more damage. Now, add that on with obviously Esquium. We're doing possibly not 850 damage on the 5th attack of Burning Canvas, which may not be a lot, but when you'll see the difference in the boss. With that being said, here comes to the second person who will be aiding her, which will be Verso. Now it's not necessarily about his skills obviously, but his Verso is kind of somewhat a shotgun build, so he's going to obviously be doing a lot of free aim shots, but it's mainly in this weapon. Base attack applies 2 burn stacks per turn. All we're going to be doing with Verso is basically just raising the burn damage for him, or raising up burns for Mael. Now necessarily you don't need to do this. If you're able to get to Mael for 100 burns without needing to do all this, by all means go for it. But it would be easier with Verso, obviously, because he can apply 2 burns with stack, and then you can add on the double burn peak dose or Lumina. Now that's like 4 burns per turn, but that's depending on how you do it. But also this weapon just gives burns, so it makes it a lot more easier. And lastly, obviously, we will be having the lovely CL dish out her supports for the team. Now, there's one thing you should know. Like I already said, this fight is all dependent on parrying. Now, I'm not saying I know the fight by heart, but I can go in here and say I can parry 90% of the attacks in here. There is just one attack in here that you're going to see that I can't parry, and so much that is just going to kill me on the turn. But if we're lucky, we might parry it, but I have no doubt that I'm not going to parry it. So just before we go in, let me show you that. Let me just make sure you get an idea of the strategy. First turn is going to be Clea's turn. She's going to attack. We're going to counter it. It's going to be Mael's turn right after. You're going to use Last Chance and then Mezzo Forte. Now you might be wondering, why are we using Mezzo Forte this late in the game? The reason we're using Mezzo Forte is because we want her to keep that virtuous stance on the first attack, have CL use Fortune Fury, and if in the rare case that Mael is not next, use Intervention. If you feel like you can't parry it, obviously. And once she has that, use the Burning Campus. Now you're having what? Another additional 100% damage extra? Like that's almost like 1000% damage right there. So, and if you add on obviously with the Lumina, we're talking about big time damage. Now, like I said, if you're confident Mael, you can put Confident Fighter, make it get a little bit more damage. I have it on her, but I wouldn't recommend if you don't feel like you're confident with the parries. But Verso, all he'll be doing simply is he's going to be our lifeline. He's going to be getting to S rank. Now, like I said, this could be useful with Somoso because since Verso can't die with Somoso, it would make it a lot more easier. But I'm just doing this for the burn stacks, just for Mael. If you feel like you don't need the burn stacks, like I said, please use Somoso. But Verso will be his lifeline, and all he'll be doing for us is simply getting to S rank. And every time he dies, he will be using Angel's Eye. So Verso is just our lifeline, which isn't hard to get to 3 Gradient. So without further ado and all this yapping, let's get right into it. Oh, here we come, Clea. Creepy Neverons. Nothing too hard that you Alright. So yeah. Like I said, I can parry 90% of these attacks. Bad start. Let's serious run. Switch. Shake it off. Serious run here. Let's do it. What do we got? Powerful, musical, easy parry. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's gonna come in for the attack and parry at the bottom. So yes, that's basically the idea of this. Now, like I say, if you're lucky, also if you have a lot of charging stuff on your peoples, please put that on. Really useful, obviously. But if you're confident, you don't need to go straight into the skill just yet. But as for me, I'm confident, so I'm not gonna go into it just yet. But hopefully he does. Okay, yeah. There we go. And there we go. So unfortunately, as you can see, 4 million damage counter. That's basically all we'll be doing this whole fight. And Verso has a shotgun. Get him to S rank. And then, honestly, yeah, we can keep going, honestly. Then have Verso. Okay, Verso, you can stop now. Have Verso do a normal attack. Get that extra burn on there. Hit her one more time to get to the. See if we can get to. Can we get level 3? There we go. Got level 3. We're just gonna go for Angel's Eye. Just get her start early. And as you can tell, already, man, we're not doing a lot of damage whatsoever. Luckily it's Mael's turn after, so we'll leave that burn on her or leave that mark on her to get all set going. And then lastly, we will be going for Fortune's Fury. Actually, before I do that, I should probably just do that just to get Gradient charges up. And Fortune's Fury on Mael, and watch as the damage goes. Obviously she doesn't have a lot of the burns now, but you'll see what I mean. Just look at the damage for now. Compared to what anybody else could be doing, efficient. 6 million, I can't complain about that. You just saw Verso do his normal attack. Verso do Angel's Eye for what? 78,000. It's gonna be a fight, but as long as you know how to parry the attacks and you run this strat, you should be fine. What do we got? Powerful never runs. Do at least stay. There we go. Now, this comes back to being confident. If you're confident, you can obviously Mezzo Forte, let CL handle it again, which honestly I might do. But actually, nah, because I think it's just best to go for damage right now, and then we can have her basically. We can have CL, or not have CL, have Mael last chance one more time. Now this is where it comes in with Verso, because now that Verso is at S rank and he doesn't have like a need to do anything, he has all this gradient he's not gonna be able to do much with, and it kind of sucks because it's like all this gradient he just can't do nothing with it, because the only time Verso's really gonna be needing the gradient right now is at S rank. But we're just gonna use it just to do, even if it's the littlest of damage, just do some damage, you know. Let's Fortune Fairy Mael. Get the mark going, so it's a double mark. There we go. And then intervention on Mael. Now we are at 2 charges again. If Verso were to die now, at least we have enough charges to, or close enough charges to get to 3 to revive him again. 8 million. Like I said, it's good damage, efficient. Just all it is a matter of, and like I said, we're right back at 3 charges once again. But now she's gonna switch up her flow.
Careful now.
And this is where it gets a little harder. Yep, I missed that attack. It kind of like messes up the flow, and like I said, if you don't parry it, it's just gonna keep attacking. But this one is easy to parry. There we go. Alright, so luckily Verso didn't die there, I think. Yeah, Verso's chill. So let's go back into the Virtuous. I think I'm gonna Mezzo Forte here. I feel a little confident that we'll be fine next turn, no matter what she dishes out. And if we don't, if we're not, then we learn. So, what are you gonna do for me? Nibble again? Do Nibble again. Oh, new one. Okay. This one is the sound. I messed up. I didn't mess up, but do something easy. Oh, again? On Verso again? Oh, there goes Verso. Well, at least comes back. Not so. That's not bad at all. Unfortunately, I think it's still gonna be Clea's turn. Yeah, you can't. Like I said, you have to parry everything. If you don't get a turn. So. And throw that rock at me. There we go. Which actually works out perfectly, because now Verso can go back into this, get up to S rank again, and he can just farm burns again. As you can see, we're out of burns now, so it's gonna take us a minute, but there we go. Mael's not gonna do a lot of damage because, like I said, it really depends on the burn. Obviously. Mael's turn is next, so let's do. The thing I like about CL is that, well, at least I would like, is that the skill that we would want to use in the case scenario, like she doesn't know that Clea has no defense up. Use Doom. Lowers her defense, all that stuff. Even if it's for 1 turn, you can get a lot of damage out of it. But as you can tell, we don't have enough for that. So we're gonna have to all set and let Mael take care of the rest of that. The burning canvas one. Actually, do I have enough to? Yeah, I don't have enough to play around. I was gonna say I could go for a burn hit, but we're gonna get it here regardless. 7 million, not bad. Last chance one more time. And rinse and repeat. Now, he's gonna Nimble Neverons, if you got it. There you go. Now, CL's turn is not coming up, so it means we don't have much to work with. So that's the thing with if you can make a fast CL, this actually makes it a lot more easier. But obviously my CL is not fast if Verso and everybody else is getting past her. So yeah. So like I said, this is the problem with Verso now, is that he's just at S. He can't really do much, and we don't want to obviously apply a bunch of Angel Eyes. So let's just go for this. Obviously, that's all. Oh, we can do this rotation. Just build it up again. Now, once she reaches 50% HP, she's going to be pulling out her new attack, which is exactly what I told you guys I fear. So you gotta see it. Unfortunately, actually no, that's not bad. You're gonna see the new attack where she summons gigantic Neverons. Pretty sure. Yep. Which is Sprong, if you remember him. Oh. Oh, yep, there goes everyone. Oh. And somehow CL lives, is what's funny. So yeah, let's just revive my L. And then next thing we should probably do is actually intervention on Verso, so that he can get back to S, obviously. Well, not get back, obviously get back to S, but we also need, like I said, Verso in this fight is going to be your basically reboot card in case everybody else dies. So yeah, Verso with 17 fire, which is good. And now we can chill. Actually, we should probably build up back the charges as quickly as we can. So yeah, let's just do all that. And honestly, just build up more charges there. There we go. So now she actually performs like the first attack she used to do, which is actually easier to parry than everything else is doing. So now, kind of a bit easier at least. As long, like I said, as long as she doesn't pull out the gigantic Neverons, you should be fine in this fight. But yes, Mael with the burns at 100, she should be at, which means this is gonna do the max damage. It's 3 million, but like I said, take as much damage as you get. Bell singing Neverons. Here we go. Ooh, there we go. Perfect. And this actually works out perfectly, actually, because Mael's gonna be able to do a lot of damage now because Clea's taking a minute to go. So we can go for the Meze Forte, keep the stance up, have Verso. Honestly, let's have Verso go for, well, I say first we do this, obviously. Let's do that. Then it's gonna be CL's turn, which we're gonna have her just intervention and Fortune Fury, because obviously we don't want to take a chance with that. Let's have Verso do, actually no, I need him to do a normal attack so that we can build up the fire. There we go. Then have have CL Fortune Fury Mael. Now she's her rushes down. And then have intervention on Mael, and obviously with so much on her, this is gonna do a truckload of damage. 7 million, and Mael's back once again. Verso has not died, which means we still have one last Angel Eye in the pot. So this is going well. This is going really well, but as I told you already, she has a secret attack, and this may fuck up the run altogether, depending on who he eats. Yay, Verso. Which is funny enough, he did the same exact thing in my original run. Which is funny, actually, because that's the only reason. Oh, yeah. So yeah, we can't do anything because obviously she which, like I say, it's good and bad because now that Versal's gone, we lose our lifeline, obviously. But as long as you're able to parry the attacks, you should be fine. So now we obviously can't do anything, so we're just gonna Mega Forte, just keep the virtuous state going, and then because obviously we can't add fire. Now let's just honestly let's buff. Hopefully he doesn't do no gigantic Nevrons, because if he does, Yell might die low-key, and then we'll have to parry that, so that's gonna be another problem. Alright, what are we doing, Clea? Nimble Rush Nevrons? Perfect. There we go. And my Yell is ready to do damage once again. Keep building that burn up if you can. And like I said, if you can get more than one burn, like a rotation, then go for it. Or if you can get as much burns as you can in a rotation, go for it. But like if you can't, just like I said, have Verso build up the burns with Corpezzo, and obviously have double burn on Mael as well. 4 million, we're right there. All we need to do is parry one more attack. Oh, gigantic, powerful Necrons. You really want to bring that out now? Oh, that might have been the game ending. That might have been the game over. That might have been it. Don't do gigantic. Okay, yeah, perfect. And down. Now, I don't know how to tell you guys this, but actually, yeah, this might be a problem. Not necessarily a problem, but more like, I think we could get it done. So the problem here is that actually, Miles an offensive, and usually, obviously, we would have her go into. It isn't bad whatsoever, just not necessarily what I want right now. So obviously Mael is let's just do this, why not? Because Fortune Fury is not going to work because Mael isn't offensive, like you said. But I actually wanted to test this last turn, or like my last run. So as you could tell, like Fortune Fury gets her into the virtuous state. But actually nah, I don't even want to test that either. Let's just go with what we know. No need to test anything new, because honestly this next attack might kill, and if it doesn't, then we just have to parry one more time. Well, let's manifest it's not gigantic, but if it kills, then that was the Clea fight. Yeah, she does this. It's like before her before her attack, she does one last one. You have to, well, you don't. But you don't have to parry, but obviously it would be better if you did. And oh, never mind, she didn't do it. But which means she still has a little more HP in the tank, I think, which we'll just take care of right now, obviously. Mael just, well, it's gonna be your turn regardless, it don't even matter. Let's just add a, actually, CL, you did your thing this fight. Go ahead and launch it. Not gonna do a lot, but this might be it. Oh, it wasn't. Funny enough. Alright. Well, Clea, you were definitely an adversary. Not this episode, obviously, but, you know, I appreciate the fun nonetheless. You got your sister, Mael, or Alicia, as we go by. And there we go. Like I said, as long as you know the parry times, it's gonna be a well worth fight. And as you could tell, It's all about luck too. Because depending on which attack she does, you can do this Gigantics. If you know how to parry it, you're good. If you don't, then obviously it's gonna be harder. And especially with that she does like an attack, you can't attack her until you parry your attack. So definitely a harder fight. Now obviously, I mean, like, I don't know if you want to see the builds, but it's like, it's just a matter of, if anything, I just say the main pick those to have is AP discount, because Burning Canvas costs 5, and obviously you're gonna need 4 to do the attack since Escrium takes away 5. Frenzy, it's good to have, obviously, for that, and Faint, obviously good to have, and also Charging Burn to just get the gradient up. And where's that one peak dose? Not Breaking Burn, not all this nonsense. Where do I not have it equipped? Where is it not on my screen? Not Burn Affinity. I guess I don't. Do I not have it? I know I have it equipped on my L. Obviously it's just to aid with the burn, which is just double burn, obviously. And for Verso, same things. MCL, about the same. But yeah, honestly, I don't want to end it there. I say, as much as I know this fight is going to beat our ass, I say we just do one attempt before the end of the video. But yeah, is there a way to beat Clea normally? Yeah, run whatever you want to do, run to beat Clea, obviously. But if you know that, like, because like this fight will have you there for 30 minutes. As you can tell, we were there for like 19. My original run, or the one I beat it on, it was like 22 minutes. Like, if you don't want to run this strat, by all means, test Clea out, like, and do the damage. But if you're not, like, you're gonna be sitting there for a while, because the damage is really low. But the last one, in the next episode, we'll be taking him on, but obviously let's do a little preview. Of course, I fought him already, and he has put belt to ass. Diamond, the Divergent Star. Did you also know he gets his first turn? Slow. He's so slow with this attack now. So slow, so, like, oh my god. Also, like, he's just very slow with the attack now, which kind of sucks. So funny enough, what I learned is that the lights that show up behind him, it's kind of like the similar with the Lamp Master. And obviously he takes your HP, which kind of sucks. And there goes Verso. So if I can't even get a turn. So the lights behind him show like how much attacks he's gonna be doing in the period. And it's similar to the Lamp Master because, as you remember, the Lamp Master shot bells, or like shot fire from the lamps after his turns. Let's see if I can parry at least one. Nope. I'm not even gonna bring in the reserves. If you remember, the Lamp Master shot fire from the lamps in a specific pattern, and it's basically the same thing with this fight. He's just but funny, and well, I guess not funny enough, but the lights behind him show a pattern which shows the attacks are going to show up. Now, I would say practice this fight, because I do think, I don't know if the lights are random depending on each short combo, but that's literally the gimmick to the fight. Just look at the lights behind him, and that shows like the time in between for each attack that he's gonna do in the combo, especially with the 3 swords. And yeah, that one might take a video or 2, I don't know. But in the meantime, I'm gonna have to grind peak those, because there's no way in hell 441 is gonna be enough. Maybe 600 on everybody, maybe. But yeah, that is Clea Unleashed with a preview assignment in today's episode of Clair Obscur Expedition 33. In the next episode, we're gonna take on the final DLC boss and hopefully win. I don't really know if we'll do that, but we'll hopefully. Leave a like, subscribe. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.